Hello, my name is Sati Gossett, and welcome to Pan and Zoom, the talk show about filmmaking with filmmakers. And this is my first show, which is going to be awesome. I'd like to welcome our studio audience here, and I hope it's going to be entertaining. I'm here with my very good friend, Kelly Perrine.
I'm so happy to be your inaugural guest. I don't know if I was going to get that out. Inaugural. I'm real excited to be here. I'm excited about your new endeavor, your new venture. This is really, really cool, and I'm happy that you thought of me for it.
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking of all my friends in the business, and we go way, way back. We'll bring that up a little bit later.
Yeah, a little later.
And you were one of the first people that popped in my head because Kelly, he's an actor, he's a writer and a producer, but he is also one of Hollywood's that guys.
I'm one of that guys. Knock on wood, I've been doing this for so long that, people know me from so many different things. Some folks know me from, the Drew Carey Show or, Seinfeld. Some folks know me from, One-on-One. Some folks know me from Night Squad. So I have a myriad of stuff that people kind of, when I'm walking down the street every once in a while, they're like, was that? But I'm gone.
And the funny thing is, whenever people do that, they suddenly feel compelled to buy a product at the store. Right? So
number of commercials. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. I'm very proud of the fact that I am a that guy and kind of a workaday actor, or industry type, because I also try to write and produce and got to stay busy, man.
You got to stay busy. You got to be like a shark.
Create your own stuff.
Like with SAG. They say 3% of the actors actually make a living, so you are very blessed to be able to do that.
Knock on whatever this is made of.
It's made of this right here. But tell us about your start, where you came from, when did you get the acting bug, when did you know?
Well, you know what, I've actually been on stage since I was 4. I grew up in Pennsylvania, and my dad was a college professor at Penn State, but he was also an actor. He did a lot of community theater, so I've been up on the stage since I was 4 or 5, doing stuff. With him. And growing up in Pennsylvania, I wasn't necessarily trying to be a Hollywood kid or, a TV actor or anything. It was the furthest from my mind. I just enjoyed the attention. So I found out very quickly that instead of being the class clown and getting kicked out of class, I could get some attention, by doing plays, by doing theater, by doing that type of thing. So from there, I continued in high school. I went to a place called Lake Forest Academy where I got my high school degree. Then I came out to California because Lake Forest Academy is outside of Chicago, and I was tired of being cold. So I go, I'm coming to California. And so continued to do acting at Pomona College, where I got my degree in film studies, and said to myself, you know what, I want to be a good actor. So I decided to go and get my master's in drama from the University of California, Irvine. So I've been on stage going on 50 some odd years now, and doing the Hollywood thing, going on 30.
Wow, and counting.
and counting.
So, who did you see on stage or TV or film that's like, hey, I want to do that? Who were your influences as far as like actors?
The big influence was my dad.
Okay.
I loved going and watching him perform, and I still to this day know all the lyrics to the musicals that he did. And I also did a lot of musicals. So my dad was a big inspiration in terms of, wanting to get up on stage. And, my parents were very supportive of my creative endeavors. But, my dad was an actor too, so he was always, excited about it. I remember when I started doing all right, and they came to visit me in Hollywood, and so I had my name, on my mailbox, and he goes, I can't believe I have my name on a mailbox in Hollywood. I'm like, oh man, that's my name. That's my name on there. And he just had to laugh, but that was my inspiration. Is my pops. That gave me the creativity to just kind of keep going.
That's awesome. What were your favorite plays to do?
Well, I loved Shakespeare. Okay. And so did everything from did like Romeo and Juliet. Studied a lot of Shakespeare. Monologues from Hamlet and Macbeth, and that's where a lot of, I think, some of my comic timing comes from, is from the iambic pentameter of Shakespeare, of reading that, the Comedy of Errors, and those type of things. I loved doing the musicals too, so I did everything from West Side Story to some Brecht plays, Three Penny Opera. So yeah, I just kind of, I love being in front of the camera. I love, being in front of an audience, Hey guys, how you guys? Yeah, staying busy.
That's awesome. Did you have any favorite movies growing up too?
You know what? One of my favorite movies, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. There was a movie called Breaking Away.
The cycling movie,
Cycling
right?
movie.
With Dennis Quaid,
Dennis
and
Quaid.
Kevin Costner, correct?
Was Costner? I don't know if
I think
Costner was
so.
in it. He might have been.
Yeah,
But I know
a
for
young
sure
Kevin
Quaid was in it. Because where I grew up in a college town. And so I kind of identified with, they called them the Cutters because, their fathers were, cut the rocks there in Indiana. And just the story of these coming of age and these kids who lived in this college town, that was one of my favorite movies. Star Wars. I used to have all the Star Wars stuff. Star Wars was the first time I remember seeing a movie and people applauded. Right. I think it was when R2-D2 put out the fire or something like that, and then people started to applaud. I'm like, holy crap, you're allowed to applaud in a movie theater? It's like, yeah, I guess so. And so I knew when I kind of came out of grad school that I wanted to be in film and television. I love being on stage, but my heart is now, in front of, sometimes behind the camera.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of great actors, their fundamentals are on the stage, and you learn about.
Well, yeah, but that's where you do get your training. That's where you do get your fundamentals.
Your chops.
Yeah, you gotta get out there. You have to. The beautiful thing about studying and being in a play is that from start to finish you have to stay in the moment. You got to learn your lines. You have to stay connected. You have to stay in the moment. There's one take, and it's when the curtain comes up and then when it goes down. But I credit my theater background and my theater training and my theater teachers and actually going to graduate school, for my longevity in this industry. I know Hollywood is a place where people don't necessarily need to have a degree, need to have a certificate, need to have a credential in order to call yourself a professional. But I went the route I went because I wanted to be good. And so it's not that I've ever been asked to have to show anybody my master's degree, but I have to show my chops, I have to show my work, I have to show whether or not I can bring a character, take something off the page and elevate it. And that's my job as an actor, to learn how to do that. And so there are young actors out there, make sure you get your training.
Yeah, get your training, and also, how did you feel about the transition from stage to camera? Because they say once you're on camera, you kind of almost gotta bring things in.
You do have to bring it in a little bit. But the beautiful thing is, in terms of the character work, your character's inner workings, what they're thinking, what they're doing, what connections they're having with the other people, a lot of that work is the same. Now whether or not they have to hear you in the back row is a different thing, because the microphone's right there. So so sometimes it's just a matter of, if you have a good director, if you have a good, they'll be like, let's just bring it right here. Because when you're on stage, you have to make sure that
Everybody hears.
That everybody hears, and they're like, no, see, bring it right here, bring it down. And so that's just a matter of repetition, understanding the medium, that you're in, and that comes with just being, working a lot and being, comfortable with your craft.
Yeah, definitely. So you came from school, and then you came out to LA, which is like a rite of passage for everyone that wants to come to Hollywood. They got to make the pilgrimage.
Hey, this is the big pond.
They load everything into their car. $300 in my pocket. With a penny and a dream.
Jinx.
Yep. And where would you shack up with people? Did you get your one bedroom with the futon, or?
The good thing was that because I went to school out here, I knew a lot of people. So over the course of some of the early years, yes, I did have a lot of friends whose couches I could stay on, people I could hang out with. But I found that my early journey was one where I just kind of stayed at it. When people ask me, hey, tell me what was your big break? I would say I never really had a big break per se. I had a series of, small steps that kind of built up on each other. I remember I did the Drew Carey show, and I was supposed to do, one episode, do 2 lines. And those 2 lines became 4 lines. Those 4 lines became 8 lines. So the one episode became, 40 episodes over a 5-year run. And so I say to a lot of actors coming up, I just do the work. Be a problem solver. Make sure that you If you have 2 lines, don't be mad that you don't have more. Kill those 2 lines and it will come. And you'll find that, just doing your work, it's a vocation that, time will go, it'll pass and you'll be like, damn, have I really been doing it that long? But it's a series, in my mind, of small steps that lead to, series regular parts. It's a byproduct.
Yeah, because it's the old adage, work begets work. If you
Work-
do a good
work
job,
begets
hey,
work.
let's hire that Kelly guy. He
Right.
did a good job on the Drew Carey show. Da 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 da
Right.
da da. Yeah.
And so, like I said, and also some of the mindset that I work with as an actor is I want to be a problem solver. So when I come onto the set, my question is, okay, how can I help the director? How can I help the other fellow actors? How can I, solve the problem of who are going to do these 5 lines, 10 lines, this role well?
Yeah, I
So
mean,
that's
'cause-
that's my job, to solve that problem.
Yeah, because it is a collaborative art.
It
and
is.
We're there to make
It
each
is.
other's job easier and to have fun. A lot of people kind of forget that.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is what I love to do. Like I said, being on stage, being in front of the camera, being on sets, the greatest place in the world.
The greatest place in the world is craft service. Don't get
Oh
it
yeah,
twisted.
yeah. See, and I'm a character actor, so I can eat all the stuff at craft service. I don't
There you
have to.
go.
I don't have to worry about staying skinny.
There you go.
That's why it's good to be a character actor.
I don't have any excuse. I'm a director. So. Awesome. So it's interesting when we were talking, getting you prepped for the show, I was asking you, and they're going to insert a picture of, it's almost like a physical journey of all of your Screen Actors Guild cards, and
Yeah.
and you managed to put them all together and put them in a frame, and it's like a talisman of like your work and your journey.
Yeah.
And I think it's so cool that we can see that, because a lot of people, they'll get discouraged, because it doesn't happen immediately.
Yeah.
Or,
You
they fake it till they make it, per se. You hear that a lot.
You hear that a lot, and I always say to folks, whenever they say, "Well, fake it till you make it," I understand what they're trying to say with that. It's kind of having a spirit of, I can do it, I can help out, which I completely understand. But sometimes you don't have to fake it; you can actually know how to do it, and that brings me back to what I was talking about in terms of the training.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's sometimes that you just don't know what's going on, and you just don't have that skill. But when you say, you know what, I'm happy to learn.
There you go. That's key.
How can I come and help?
Yeah.
Hey, can you ride a horse? Sure. If you can't, don't lie about that. Don't fake it.
Yeah.
There's too many people that could get hurt, and there's too much money that. So I get what they're saying with fake it till you make it, but it's better to know how to do it and learn how to do it and be good at it.
Yeah. Did you do any training out here? Did you go to any acting studios out
Well,
here?
I did a lot. I did so much, at Pomona and at Irvine, and I was, knock on wood, lucky enough to, be on a number of shows where it was kind of not necessarily on the job training, but the shows itself was where I was keeping my skills sharp. Mm-hmm. Interacting with the other actors, on the show. And so in many ways, I couldn't sit here and say, okay, here are the teachers that you should go to make it in Hollywood. I wouldn't be able to honestly answer that to you. But the fact that I've been blessed to work with actors who were fantastic, made me have to raise my game.
Yeah.
Kept me sharp. Because I remember, doing some shows like Seinfeld, stuff like that, people who were, multi, Emmy Award winners, and I'm like, oh, okay, I better bring the A game.
Yeah. Can you tell us more about that Seinfeld experience? Because that's
it was fantastic, and it was one of those things where, the Seinfeld experience is where, as someone who had just gotten out of school, and then here you're on set and you're watching a show that is the #1 show on, in the world.
Right.
And you're watching people that, you emulate, and you go, man, I want to have a show like this one day. It was a fantastic experience. I'm just a kid at a State College, Pennsylvania, fresh out of school. But I got to raise my game, because I'm hanging with the heavy hitters. Early stages, that's where I kind of said, okay, I have to, one, it's not that I've made it, but it's cool to be here.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really cool to be here. And two, elevate your game.
Yeah, it's interesting being among people that are at that level, because you step on stage and you're like, oh my God, da da da. And once that goes away, you find out that they're regular people.
Sure.
And they're there to do their job. Mm-hmm. And once they say that you can do your job, That's when you can do the magic.
That's when magic happens. And once they see that you can do your job, that's when they bring you back
Yes.
over and over and over again. And that's again where the whole problem solver, being good at what you do, philosophy and mentality comes in. A lot of times I talk philosophies, mentalities, active mentalities, because I want to make sure folks know that what we're doing is a vocation. It's a job. I put in my 9 to 5 like a doctor would, like a lawyer would, like a baker would.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, your resume currently definitely reflects that.
Well,
work ethic.
you got to just, that's, laws of physics. A body in motion tends to stay in motion.
That's true.
And so that's why, I put in my 8 hours a day because it's my job, and 8 hours times 5 days a week times 42 weeks a year. You can't help but get something. You can't help but book stuff.
No, it's
you
true.
can't help
It's that
but
energy.
write, have your script written. Just put in your 8. Put in your 8 hours, put in your time. This is your job, this is your vocation, and we love it. And if we didn't love it, we'd do something else.
Exactly. And is that exact same energy that kind of helped you with your writing? I know you've done some shorts, and you've
I've
done the festival
I've done
circuit.
a lot of shorts. I have a number of full-length features that I've also written that are in various stages of production. I have a great television pilot that I wrote called Capitol Police, based on the January 6th insurrection that I'm shopping around. I have 24 hours is a lot of time in a day. I got 8 hours of sleep. Then I got 16 hours to write, create, email people, figure out the audition, be on set, all that. And so I say, if you're a writer, write. If you're an actor, find a way to act. If you're a producer, find something to produce. Don't just call yourself the thing, do the thing. It's your job to find a way to do the thing you said that you want to do. That's your job. Your job is not to sit by the phone waiting for them to call you.
And it's very true. And usually the universe will meet you halfway.
Oh, sure. Yeah, but the universe also wants to know that you are doing your part.
That's true.
Because so many people come out here and they go, okay, I'm here, universe. And universe is like, okay, and put in some work. And you're here, and have you written some stuff, and are you shooting every weekend, and are you going to festivals, and are you meeting people, and are you following up, and are you going to film whatever.
Yeah,
There's always something to do.
That's the journey.
Whenever I hear somebody say that they don't know what to do, or they don't have time, dude, there's always something to do. Like I said, I've been here forever, and people kind of know me, and I'm still on my hustle.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
You know what it is?
This is the hustle.
But how about this?
Because you never know who's going to see this. And say, hey,
how beautiful is this? This is part of my 8 hours. Is beautiful. I love this, and I love the fact that this is a place where people are coming to learn the craft, and learn their job. And I think that's awesome. So again, I'm really proud of the fact and happy that I'm part of this startup endeavor.
It's awesome, man. I think now we're gonna take some time to have the
Do
audience.
you have a band?
We're working on the band. We got to add in Craigslist. So maybe next week.
Okay.
Yeah,
Whatever.
but
Some questions?
we have some questions from Mr. Perrine.
So in 2016, you wrote a film called Downward Hero, and it took more of a turn towards the drama and the thriller film. And so my question to you is, where did that shift come from, going away from comedy? And then also, have you found as much success in your writing and behind the scenes activities as you have being in front of the camera?
You know what? Like I said, I grew up doing everything. I grew up doing Shakespeare. I grew up doing musical theater. I grew up doing improv. I grew up doing all that. And so, like I said, knock on wood, I've been blessed to be very, very successful at the comedy. And so when I wrote Downward Hero, which is a short film, the proof of concept for a feature that I'm going to, eventually make and produce, it was because I wanted to, exercise a muscle that I really hadn't used in a hot minute, because I had been lucky enough to do so much comedy. And so that was a situation where I said to myself, you know what, I'm going to create what it is that I want to be in. The unfortunate thing about Hollywood sometimes is they can pigeonhole you, and they can only see you as one thing. Oh, you just do comedy. Oh, you just do this. Oh, you just do drama. Because there's so many folks, they want to go, okay, let me label you and have you stay here.
Yeah, and for better or for worse, if you're a person of color too.
Yeah.
It even makes the pigeonhole even smaller.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so again, like I said, it's your job, it's my job. So it was my job in 2016 when I wrote Downward Hero, the short, and it's my job in 2023 to get that made and get that produced. I found great success in it, not because it's been made, but because it's going to, and it's part of my 8 hours a day. And I've done stuff that's gone to film festivals and done very, very well. And again, when I do get my movie deals, and when I do get my next TV show where I play, a crime procedural, that's like a more serious part, it will be a culmination, again, of the stuff I'm doing now. And so I look at what I'm doing now in The Hustle as success. So, I'm just kind of, today's what, Tuesday? Tomorrow I'm auditioning and grinding. Thursday I'm on set. How beautiful is that?
Could be worse.
Yeah,
It's better than the salt mines.
Could be worse.
So what was your inspiration for Downward Hero?
Well, you know what? I do a lot of hot yoga. Because I said I'm a character actor, but I'm not trying to get too big. so I'm doing some hot yoga, and I remember I was in a position, and I said, if I couldn't be like in the FBI or something like that, because someone caught me and tortured me for information. They would just have to put me in one of those yoga moves, and I'd be like, Uncle, what do you want to know is going down next week? So they would torture me very quickly. And so I said, I like that idea of using, yoga, and the motto for it is what hurts you heals you. So it's the duality of we do these things to ourselves in hot yoga to sweat it out, to do that. But if someone else was to do it to you and hold you in those same positions that much longer, it then becomes torture.
Yeah.
So my character, not to give it away too much, is an extractor of information who uses the same poses in hot yoga that he uses, or actually the same stress positions when he's interrogating folks that he does in hot yoga. So it's a mind play on the fact that he can really hurt people doing the stuff that he chooses to do to himself.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but is it?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Is he?
I'll send you a link. Oh, it's great.
Yeah, it's great.
And read the feature. It's excellent. I'll get it made.
Is he wearing yoga pants when he's torturing people?
Well, no, not when he's torturing people.
Okay.
But
Okay. All right. We talked about film festivals. One of the film festivals he went to happened to be in Idlewild.
Idlewild,
and you
California.
know what the segue is I'm getting to.
I do.
Tell us how we first met.
We know each other because I was Sati's camp counselor back in 1980. So we've actually known each other for a number of years. And it was funny because I was, the place was called Idlewild School of Music and the Arts, and I wasn't, that much older than you per se. And so I'm like, really? He's a foot taller than me. I'm in charge of him? Shouldn't he be watching me? This kid's, filling out. So we've known each other a good long time and stayed in contact, and we also have been trying to find ways to work together.
Yes, and it will happen.
Oh, of course it'll happen.
It'll happen.
Of course it'll happen. I have a good 40 more years in this industry, and I need to fill the resume out more. And
I still want to work on that one script about the baby.
The I Want a White Baby?
Yes, the I Want a White Baby.
About a guy who goes over to Eastern Europe, black guy, to adopt a white baby to get some publicity, like all these, white couples are snatching up these black kids. So, yeah, I got a lot of good stuff, y'all. I got a lot of good stuff. So,
and you never know.
Yeah, well, you do know. But see, that's the beauty.
I mean, the guy in the plaid shirt, he could produce it.
Yeah. But that's the beauty of it. You do know, because again, it's all a byproduct of the work. They say that hard work is the best kept secret to Hollywood. And if I keep coming back to it, it's because I keep want to make sure that folks know that, it's a hustle and a love at the same time. But it's also a job.
Yeah.
Because people go, oh, I love being an actor and it's magic in Hollywood. But it's also a job. There's also some aspects to any job that you just have to do. I tell young actors there's stuff you just have to get to the other side of.
Yeah. So like
Just put in your work.
in hindsight, you know, the hindsight's 2020. Is there anything you would have done differently on your journey, starting in Hollywood?
Well, you know what I probably would have done differently now is I would have probably started writing and creating my own stuff earlier. And again, like I said, knock on wood, I was lucky enough to be cast in enough things that I was able to work fairly steadily. But now that I'm also creating my own stuff, there's a joy to not waiting for people to validate you or not having to wait for anyone's permission to do anything. So if I have any advice to give to young actors, writers, producers, directors, filmmakers, people is create your own stuff. Because like I said, this is your job. If you're an actor, your job is to find a way to act. If you're a writer, your job is to write.
Yeah, it's almost the worst kept secret in Hollywood because the illusion is you come out here and you wait to be quote unquote discovered.
Discovered, no.
But no, you got to come out here, hit the ground running.
And some people do get discovered. And
Yeah,
you know, just
there is
like every week somebody hits the lottery. I've been living a good long time. I've never really met anybody who's hit the lottery. So if people's mentality is the way I'm going to pay for life and my kids is I'm going to hit the lottery and my job is to wait outside the liquor store, pick my numbers and wait till the numbers come in, that's a stupid way to think you're going to make it.
Yeah, it's a palms up attitude, and you know you got to be this way.
Yeah.
You know?
And so again, I always say buy your lottery tickets on the way to work. I ain't mad at people that hit the lottery.
Hey,
You know,
that's a
but
gem.
I've just not seen that many folks who've done it. So if that's their strategy to do it, that's a terrible strategy.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be any artist's strategy.
Yeah.
The artist's strategy is to create art.
Awesome. We're going to end on that note. I'd like to thank Kelly for coming in and sharing his wisdom. You know, we got this show in the books. I'd like to thank the audience and their questions. My name is Sati Gossett, and this has been Pan and Zoom. We'll see you next time.